Would you dare to live in one of Europe's most dangerous countries? Today on Would You Live There, we dive into the 20 European nations where caution isn't just a suggestion, it's a necessity. One of the best ways to determine which countries are less safe than others is to examine their Global Peace Index score. Don't go packing your bags just yet. Join us as we explore what makes these destinations captivatingly hazardous. Stay tuned to discover if any of these spots might just be your next daring adventure, or a place to avoid. 20. Estonia. It is noteworthy that Estonia currently ranks 7th in Europe in terms of its homicide rate. However, the country has made significant progress in reducing the crime rate over the past 2 decades. With further improvements, Estonia might exit the list of countries with high homicide rates in the near future. Additionally, it is interesting to note that Estonia ranks 93rd in the World Terrorism Index and 110th in the World Peace Index, indicating that the country is relatively safe and peaceful. 19. Sweden. As per the Global Terrorism Index ranking, Sweden is ranked 64th, while its rank on the Global Peace Index is 104. Although the country has faced an increase in crime due to its liberal migrant policies, it still has a meager homicide rate ranked at 207th. Despite this, Sweden has experienced at least one instance of ideological terrorism in 2022, making it one of 7 countries in the world to face such a situation. Before we continue, if you find this topic intriguing, consider subscribing to our channel for more insightful travel content. 18. Latvia. According to the Global Terrorism Index, Latvia has been ranked at 93. Similarly, in the Global Peace Index, it has been ranked at 110. However, when it comes to homicide rate ranking, Latvia has been ranked at a higher number, 135. The country has shown a notable decrease in crime rates, but it still needs to put in more effort to ensure that it is no longer considered one of the most dangerous countries in Europe. In 2008, Latvia was referred to as the crime capital of Europe, but since then, significant improvements have been made. 17. Norway. Norway recently experienced its first incident of terrorism since 2019, when an Islamist terrorist killed 2 civilians. Despite this tragic event, Norway remains one of the safest countries in the world. It has a Global Terrorism Index ranking of 49, a Global Peace Index ranking of 110, and a homicide rate ranking of 226. In fact, when considering peace rankings and homicide rates, Norway ranks among the best countries in the world. Number 16, Cyprus. Cyprus is a country that is considered to be very safe in terms of homicides, even when compared to other European countries. However, despite not being directly involved in any major conflicts, Cyprus hosts a number of refugees and displaced people. As per the latest rankings, Cyprus is ranked 74th in the Global Terrorism Index, 92nd in the Global Peace Index, and 201st in the homicide rate ranking. 15. Slovakia. According to the Global Terrorism Index, Slovakia is ranked 58th. However, the country has recently faced a significant setback in its ranking due to its first terrorist attack in 10 years. This has caused Slovakia to be one of the 4 European countries whose ranking has deteriorated in the index. Additionally, the Global Peace Index has ranked Slovakia at 92, indicating that the country has room for improvement in terms of peace. Furthermore, Slovakia's homicide rate ranking is 208, which is relatively high compared to other countries. 14. France. A relatively unknown terrorist organization named Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin, JNIM, was established in 2017. It has declared France as its enemy, which is why it ranks high in the Global Terrorism Index. Separatist terrorism is prevalent in 3 Western European countries, including France. As per the rankings, France is one of them with the highest levels of such terrorism. The rankings are as follows: Global Terrorism Index, 34, Global Peace Index, 120, and Homicide Rate Ranking, 196. 13. Lithuania. Lithuania is considered one of the most dangerous countries in Europe due to its high homicide rate, which ranks 3rd highest in Europe. However, it performs well on both the Global Peace Index and the Global Terrorism Index. Its rank on the Global Terrorism Index is 86, while it is ranked 110 on both the Global Peace Index and the Homicide Rate Ranking. 12. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia and Herzegovina has made significant progress since the Bosnian War and is generally considered to be a safe place to visit. The country has a low risk of terrorism, and there is little to no threat of terror attacks. In addition, Bosnia and Herzegovina has a relatively low ranking for homicide rates, coming in at 190 globally. However, it is important to note that the country's ranking on the Global Peace Index is 58, which suggests that while it is safe, it may not be as peaceful as some other countries. Finally, it is worth mentioning that Bosnia and Herzegovina has a global terrorism index ranking of 93. 11. Armenia. Armenia has a tragic history, having faced one of the worst genocides in history, which is still not widely acknowledged by many countries. Currently, the U.S. travel advisory suggests that Armenia's border with Azerbaijan is still unsafe, and travel to the Nagorno-Karabakh region is discouraged due to recent hostilities. In terms of safety rankings, Armenia is ranked 93rd on the Global Terrorism Index, 74th on the Global Peace Index, and 157th in terms of homicide rate. Number 10, Serbia. Serbia has experienced a higher level of violence due to organized crime, but it is generally safe to visit. However, there is still some danger from unexploded ordnance and mines left over from the 1999 Kosovo conflict. The country's rankings in various global indexes are as follows: Global Terrorism Index, 93, Global Peace Index, 56, and Homicide Rate Ranking, 186. Number 9, Azerbaijan. Several European countries have not experienced any significant terrorism incidents, except for rare occasions when they are attacked by external forces, such as the Paris attacks in 2015 or the Brussels bombings in 2016. As a result, these countries have a score of 0 on the Global Terrorism Index. However, Azerbaijan appears to be more dangerous than most other countries in the region due to its higher homicide rate. 8. Georgia. Georgia has been facing threats from separatist movements that have been supported by Russia. These threats have made Georgia one of the most dangerous countries in Europe. As per the Global Terrorism Index, Georgia is ranked at 93, while the Global Peace Index ranks it at 66. Additionally, Georgia's homicide rate is ranked at 152. 7. Kosovo. Kosovo, a country that declared its independence from Serbia in 2008, is still grappling with the aftermath of the Kosovo War. The country is still home to a significant number of landmines and unexploded shells, posing a considerable threat to the safety of its citizens. Additionally, Kosovo has been struggling with organized crime, which has contributed to its position as having the 10th highest homicide rate in Europe. The country's rankings in the Global Terrorism Index, Global Peace Index, and homicide rate are 90, 66, and 146, respectively. 6. Belarus. Belarus has become one of the most unsafe countries in Europe due to its increased militarization. Additionally, it has faced sanctions from most Western countries for supporting Russia in its invasion of Ukraine. As a result, its Global Terrorism Index ranking is 93, Global Peace Index ranking is 36, and homicide rate ranking is 141. 5. Greece. Greece is a safe country for tourists, thanks to its low homicide rate ranking. However, it has been the second most impacted country by terrorism in Europe, with 35 attacks in 2022 alone. Despite this, Greece hasn't experienced any deaths from terrorist incidents in at least a decade. As per the Global Terrorism Index ranking, Greece is ranked 31, and as per the Global Peace Index ranking, it is ranked 66. Number 4, Moldova. Moldova is located in a region with a relatively unstable security environment. The country has faced challenges due to the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, as it shares a border with Ukraine. Furthermore, Moldova has the second highest homicide rate in Europe. Its Global Terrorism Index ranking is 93, its Global Peace Index ranking is 45, and its homicide rate ranking is 100. 3. Ukraine. It's no surprise that Ukraine has performed poorly in the Global Peace Index, ranking as the second worst country due to the ongoing war with Russia. Since the conflict began, tens of thousands of Ukrainians have lost their lives. However, Ukraine still scores well in terms of low terrorism rates and a low homicide rate. 2. Turkey. According to the Global Terrorism Index ranking, Turkey is ranked 23, which implies that it is among the countries most affected by terrorism. On the Global Peace Index ranking, Turkey is ranked 10, indicating that the country is not doing well in terms of peace. Turkey is also ranked 143 in terms of homicide rate, which is quite concerning. Turkey's low score on the Global Peace Index can be attributed to external conflicts, which are the primary reason behind the country's struggle to reduce the level of danger. In 2022, 17 out of 27 European deaths due to terrorism occurred in Turkey, which is an alarming statistic. Number 1, Russia. According to the Global Terrorism Index, the country in question has a ranking of 45. On the other hand, the country's ranking in the Global Peace Index is 4. In terms of homicide rate, it ranks 50th in the world. Russia has been ranked as the most dangerous country in Europe, with the highest homicide rate in the continent, putting it on top of the list of 20 most dangerous countries in Europe. The country's peace has deteriorated significantly due to its invasion of Ukraine. To make matters worse, Ukraine has launched drone strikes on Russia, further affecting safety and security in the country. We've explored Europe's most risky destinations today. What are your thoughts? Would you consider living in any of these countries despite the risks? Please share your comments below and remember to like and subscribe for more insightful explorations of some of the world's most fascinating destinations.